Welcome to episode 4 of Ms.shelved. I'm Linda.
Hi, and I'm Maura, and today we're going to be giving our watchers, our viewers, a update on our reading challenges. So in our first episode, if you recall, we introduced some of the reading challenges, our goals for reading this year, and now we're going to tell you how we're doing. Are we succeeding or not? So Linda, remind us what your challenges were.
So I've been doing the TBR pile challenge, which was a list of 10 books that have been in my to-be-read pile or list for a long time, like over a year. And then my other challenge was the Bardathon challenge, which was to read some 4 Shakespeare plays and attend a live performance. So for my TBR pile challenge, I have read all 10 books on my list.
That's amazing. I wish I had a gold star.
And there's a couple I wanted to recommend that I thought were especially good that people might be interested in. So one is Hilde by Nicola Griffith. This is a historical novel set in the early Middle Ages. It's about Saint Hilde of Whitby, a figure that I had not heard of. But anyway, this is
a real person.
I believe so, yes. And this is a fictional account of her early life. It's kind of long, it's very dense, but really worth it. Like beautiful writing, really great story. So I enjoyed that a lot.
And learned something about the time period it was set in that you might not have.
Yeah. I mean, just a lot of stuff about like daily life then. It was really interesting. And the other one I want to recommend is An Untamed State by Roxane Gay. You may have heard of her. She wrote a book of essays called Bad Feminist, and she is really active on social media. But this is a novel about a woman. She's from Haiti. She lives in the United States, though, and she and her husband go back to Haiti to visit her parents, and she is kidnapped for ransom that her father refuses to pay.
Wow.
This is not an easy book to read. There's violence, there's rape. If you don't want to read about that stuff, I mean, it's very dark, so just be warned. But
timing can also make a difference with picking up books like this.
Yeah, this is not really like a take to the beach kind of book. It is really dark, but it's just so well done, just about this woman and what she goes through and how she deals with like the aftermath and her relationships with her family. I couldn't put it down. It was really, really fantastic.
I know, I would see you reading it in the park on your lunch break.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me. Gotta read.
Can't talk reading.
Can't talk reading.
Yeah, and then for the Bardathon, I've read all 4 plays that I plan to read, and so the final thing I need to do for that challenge is to see a live performance of a Shakespeare play, which I now have 6 months to do.
So of the 4 plays you read, was one stand out to you as a favorite, or?
I mean, if I had to pick, so I read Macbeth, Hamlet, Much Ado About Nothing, and A Midsummer Night's Dream, which I just finished yesterday.
So some of the more well-known plays.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe Macbeth if I had to pick one. I mean, they're really all like sort of light on plot, no real character development, but like the language is really, it's very poetic and whatnot.
Shakespearean.
But I think, yes, that's why they call it that. Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of the story, and I think I liked Macbeth. But yeah, it's hard to choose. They're kind of, similar-ish.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
High five.
So what about you? How are your challenges going?
Not as well. So I saw the Book Riot Read Harder challenge at the beginning of the year, and I was like, this is great. I'm going to do it. And I spent a lot of time. I made a list of about, I think, like 35 books or something. And I probably abandoned it about a month later after it just, it didn't work for me in being so prescribed. I mean, I know that like I could have, been flexible or pick things, but I think that it just seemed so overwhelming that this was what I was going to read that year.
It was a big list of categories. I saw that. It was
a big list. And again, like you can, pick and choose. You don't do them all, but it just didn't really work out for me. But what has worked out for me is the 2016 Robbins Library Reading Challenge. And out of the 16 categories, I've done 6. So one is a book by an Arlington author, which is We Love You, Charlie Freeman by Caitlin Greenidge. And I didn't know she was an Arlington author until the Robbins Library had tweeted about her book when it came out. And she responded back to us on Twitter, and I learned that she is from Arlington, which was really exciting. And it's a story about a Boston family that moves out to the Berkshires to partake in an experiment of teaching sign language to chimpanzees.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
It is, and it goes between the sort of the current day of the family, it's set in the 80s, and then what this sort of institute was founded in the turn of the century. So there's layers of race and identity and research. It's really has excellent character development, and I like books that move around through time and have different points of views. The second is a book I've been meaning to read, which is Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay. So two-time.
We have a theme. We are fans.
Exactly.
Roxane Gay.
Roxane Gay. And as Linda had mentioned, it's just a collection of essays about feminism, and they're funny and moving. And I sort of appreciate her perspective is that it's what does it mean to be a feminist, and also like pop culture, like rap music, and how do you kind of reconcile all these things. And so, and also that feminism isn't one thing to all women. There's different, it means different things to different women. So it's been a really great collection to read. And she has a book coming out this fall, I believe, called Hunger.
Nice. Well, we'll look forward to that.
Yeah, which is a good segue
into our next episode. So we'll be back in a month. We're going to talk about books that we are excited about for the fall. So there'll probably be some fiction, some nonfiction, some authors you've heard of, some you haven't.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for ideas of what to read in the future, stay tuned, and that will be next month.
Yeah, the fall's always an exciting time for books. There's always like the big literary books. So thanks for watching, dear watchers, viewers.
Goodbye for now.
Have a good summer.